Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by my old friend Amir Khan, former unified super lightweight champion of the world, Olympic silver medalist. How's everything going?
First of all, I want to say that's a good introduction, that, bro. Danny, it's always a
I was
pleasure.
running out of
It's always
breath
a
at the
pleasure
end.
seeing you, man.
You got too
It's
many
always a pleasure
accolades.
seeing you. Yeah. So, no, I'm doing well. Obviously, it's a tough time that we're all going through with all the COVID and everything, but we're still managing and we're getting things done, you know?
And an increasingly large family. You've got a son now, Mohammed,
Yeah, look,
third child.
I've got my third child who was born a week before COVID. So I've got two girls, and the youngest is a son now. So it's tough, man. It's getting harder now, man. I'm getting becoming an old man now.
I was going to say, what's it been like? Because you're not fought this year, mainly because of COVID, and now you've got three young kids all in the same house and under lockdown.
Correct? Yeah, because I was looking at fighting in March 2020, and then I was looking at fighting towards the end of the year as well in November. I had a good couple of fights in me, but obviously with the COVID, then things had to stop, and we then had to schedule everything. And let's just hope that the boxing starts up again properly, because there's a lot of big fighters who are not fighting, and there's not that many shows that are happening. So I just decided to sit back, and I'm quite happy and quite lucky to do that. But financially I'm secure and everything else. And it's just that I do miss the days. Like I can't, I don't have like when you're training and stuff, yeah, you can train every day, but you don't have that focus. It's not the same, not knowing that you got a date or anything. So it's become very hard, man. But it is what it is, we just have to stay strong and get through this tough time.
Are you still kind of ticking over in the gym? And if so, who are you working with? Who's helping you out?
So yeah, I've done a little bit of training at my own academy, just keeping myself busy and stuff like that. I'm working with a few friends of mine who do pads and stuff. So I'm just working with them, just keeping it like just moving more than anything. Nothing properly serious. I'm not, but I've got Tony coming over next week to do some strength conditioning with me. Tony Brady. So he's coming over from France. At the moment, he's training Tony Yoka and
Okay.
Suleiman Sosiko. So after that, he's going to come over to UK, and me and him are going to start doing some training together.
Oh, great stuff. And it's not like you've been sitting around doing nothing during this period either. You've obviously got your charitable endeavours, which everyone respects you for, but also now
Thank you,
you've
bro.
been made the president of the new WBC Middle East. Just
Correct.
tell us
Yeah.
a
So
little bit about that.
yeah. So first we'll talk about charity. So the Amir Khan Foundation, we've been doing a lot of work, helping the less fortunate, helping the people who need our support, going to city, town to town, giving food bags, aid, food, and everything else. And that's what we've been doing. And it's been very good, because I've had great people who have partnered me, a lot of the other local charities, and also companies like Pound for Pound Land have also joined me to distribute food to the ones that need it, the people that need it out there. And also been giving a lot of funds to other charities who are working. So that's been going really well. And obviously it does take a lot of time, so I've been focused on that, and that keeps me physically moving around and keeps me busy. And then with the boxing side, now I've become the Middle East president of WBC, which is a amazing position, which now gives me the chance to open more academies and more gyms in the Middle East, start promoting the sport more. Even though we've been having some big fights over there. Myself, who fought in Saudi Arabia, then you had AJ, who's fought there. Now the Middle East market, in my opinion, is opening up, and to have this WBC position has only made it nice for me and good for me, where now I can start, promoting the biggest event, also being at the biggest events and having a good position there.
What will be your main remit with that position? What have you been asked to do, or what is it you'd like to do?
So my position is, so I'm gonna start uh, introducing more boxing into that Middle East area, into that part of the world. Also, events when it comes to hosting boxing events, putting the biggest shows on, getting the biggest names in boxing over in places like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, and having the biggest fights there. And that's what my role is. At the same time, the WBC cares, which is about charity. They know that I do a lot of charity work, and now with Amir Khan Foundation, WBC cares together, we're going to start helping the less fortunate people as well.
Ah, that's brilliant, brilliant stuff. And you're approaching your
And not
40th
only
fight.
that,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
like we also want to help with the rankings of the Middle East fighters. So then they have a position, they know exactly where they stand as well. So WBC, we're going to be ranking them in WBC, and we've also made a title in the WBC, which is called the Middle East WBC title, which I'm going to be, we're going to start giving to fighters out there who are up in the ranks with the WBC. So yeah, man, it's a good position to have and to be in power of that. And then I report back to Mauricio, who's a very close friend of mine. And we've been talking about this for a very long time. And I'm glad that we've just got the right team now and to make it happen.
Now, your next fight is going to be your 40th professional contest. I saw you put something on Twitter recently asking people who you should fight for that monumental occasion. I didn't look at all the replies, but what was the main kind of feedback? Who were the names that were coming up the most?
The main fight that people want to see was the Manny Pacquiao fight. A lot of people said we want to see the Manny Pacquiao fight because you both have a good past history where you've fought the biggest names in boxing. You've both been in the top 10 in the world. You've trained together, sparred together. So it makes a good story. And also, we are the same weight as well. And I think styles make fights. And so I mean, I think that'll be a brilliant fight for me. And also then there was fights like Kell Brook. People are talking about the Kell Brook fight, which I think will be another amazing fight. And obviously, I know he's got his hands full against Terence Crawford, so he's going to be busy with that fight. And we wish him nothing but the best. I wish Kell all the very best, and go out there and put a stop to his reign. So and he can do that. Kell's a good fighter, and I've always respected him. Look, as a Brit, we have to support our own fighters, and we have to support each other. And even though we've not looked eye to eye for many years, but look, end of the day, I am going to be rooting for him.
What is the future for you beyond the 40th fight? I mean, how many fights do you feel you want to have left? Because you're, like you said, you're financially secure. So when you do
Yeah.
decide to walk away, it'll be very much on your own terms.
No, definitely, exactly. Look, when fighters come to boxing, they want to win titles, which I've done. Then they want to financially secure their family and their future, and I've done that as well. So, it's all about now. Want to leave a legacy behind and have the biggest fights with the biggest names and fighting locations that boxing is not big in. Saudi Arabia was one. Maybe there's talks of maybe one day Bahrain, Qatar. There's more fights in America. So I don't know. I'm just going to wait and see. I know everything at the moment is on a stop, but I'm just going to take my time. And I just recently, only about a week and a half ago, I got my bloods done, and they're going to see my deficiencies, and also your blood will tell you exactly what your body is and how old your body is and how far you're capable to go. And I'm very big on the scientific side of boxing because I don't want to be in the game longer than I should. Like you look in the last fight when I fought, well, the fight 2 fights ago when I fought against Crawford, I couldn't even straighten my right hand. I had to have an operation on it. And I could see how my body has started breaking down a little bit. I've been in the game since the age of 8. So that's the reason I had to get this blood sample done and these tests done. So then I know exactly how hard I can push my body. I don't want to then go into a full training camp, sacrifice time away from the family and the kids, and then God forbid, and an injury occurs. And you could see fighters like David Hay, who in his last couple of fights started to get them injuries. And I don't want to be in one of them fights in the middle of a fight. I get an injury. So I'm just going to wait on my results and see how they come back on. And when I talk about want to fight the best, I've got the name and there's so many great champions out there who I know I can go in the ring with. And I was training last night and I felt so good. Like I still feel like when I was 24, 25, man. I hit the bags hard. The speed is still there. The movement's there. Obviously, you've got some weight to lose and stuff. I think we all in the quarantine time we all put on a few pounds. So I want to start losing a bit of weight and stuff, and I'll be back at my speed and back at my movement again.
25 years that is you've been boxing now. If you started at the age of 8, you said, so yeah, 25 years, a
No,
quarter,
I saw you doing the
quarter of a
calculations in your head.
century. Oh,
Who would have ever thought I was going to stay in the game for that long? And look, I'm not slurring. I'm not. mentally I'm quite good still. Even though I have taken a lot of punishment and a lot of punches in sparring, in training, and in fights. But to be honest with you, I still feel like I'm fresh. I'm a fresh chicken. I can still go into the fights, and I still feel in good shape. Like I said, doing the scientific side, where you get the blood samples done, you get you get your medicals done to see how your body and what it's going through. So that's what's going to tell me exactly how far I can push it.
There's a big story that broke earlier today, which I think you'll have some interesting insight into. And that's that Canelo Alvarez apparently has been granted his release from Golden Boy Promotions. They were in dispute and taking each other to court and so on. I don't know how that lies now.
Well,
But
release now.
apparently so. ESPN are
Wow.
reporting that he's been released from the contract, and his team put out a statement insisting he's now a free agent. And there's
Wow.
rumours going around he'll be fighting on a PBC show in December against Caleb Plant.
With Al Heyman.
Well, yeah, I don't know if it'll be a long-term deal or if it's just a one-off and he's a free agent going forward. But what do you make of it? And when you were aligned with Golden Boy, was Canelo still very much the kind of golden goose, if you like, and there was a real close relationship with De La Hoya?
To be honest with you, look, I signed up with Golden Boy back in 2008 when I left Frank Warren. 2009, sorry. And I had my first fight with them. And Canelo really was a big, big name that he is now.
Yeah.
And he was coming up the ranks then. And, I think they had a few big names. They had myself as being one of the top guys. And it was, it's hard to say. I think Canelo is only in the last probably 5 years probably made a massive name with Golden Boy, and then started getting the big pay-per-view fights and everything else. Prior to that, he was just a normal fighter, part of their stable. And look, one thing I want to say, like Golden Boy do look after the fighters. They respected me a lot. I mean, I'm very close friends with Oscar. We speak quite regularly, and one thing I said, they do put you in hard fights, but that's what boxing is about. You have to fight the best. And they have a huge stable, so sometimes you might not be able to get on shows. But I've been quite lucky where because I can sell tickets and I have the TV networks behind me, and I had like a contract with HBO, I had a contract with Showtime. That was quite easy for me to get the fights. But with Canelo, I think as he come towards the end of his towards the end of his contract with Golden Boy, and now they had to release him. I think Canelo kind of realized that he's going to start making big money and he can make it without them taking a percentage. Now, being a fighter, I mean, why not? I mean, that's what deal I had with Golden Boy myself. I just give Golden Boy a very small percentage and I used to fight on the undercard. Whereas depends what the percentage on the cards, but depends what the percentage Canelo was on. Maybe they used to manage him at the same time, they used to promote him, so they was on a bigger percentage. I've always gone into fights making sure I know exactly how much I'm going to make. And that's maybe some advice I want to give to some young fighters out there, that always know what you're going to make, because last thing you want to do is then think you're going to make this and make that. Like when I fought Canelo, I almost made about 10 million. And I remember when reports came out afterwards that Canelo didn't even make that because he was more after the pay-per-view buys. Pay-per-view buys only did just more than 500,000. So really, after his percentages and stuff that went out, he didn't really make as much as he thought he was going to make. So, it's you have to the young fighters out there, who are coming up. It's always nice to know exactly how much you're going to make. Yes, sometimes risking it and saying I'm gonna go with a percentage split might sometimes not work on your favor. So it's good to know what you're going to make, and I think that's where I think Canelo's split might have came from, because he was assuming he's going to make X amount million and probably wasn't. And he thought if he does it himself, he can start making a lot more money. And this is where some fighters can go wrong, or some fighters might even benefit doing that way. For me, it was a benefit doing that because I was going from one promoter to another promoter, and everything was done under Amir Khan Promotions. Whereas with Canelo now, is he going to still make the same kind of money? Which I think he will, but who knows,
When you fought Canelo in the build-up to the fight and all around fight week, what sort of impression did you get of his relationship with Oscar? Because they've always seemed, until the last year, very close.
No, bro, to be honest with you, Canelo is a very quiet guy. He doesn't really get close to many people. and he only keeps his own team around him, like his coach and stuff like that. And when you could see the love wasn't there. Like they weren't like the best of friends that you assume that they are gonna be, because you think they made so much money together. He's been with Golden Boy. He's so loyal to them. But to me, it didn't seem they were always like that close. I think it was more business for them. But I might be wrong, but that's what I kind of recognized. But I do recognize one thing, that when it come to negotiating for Canelo, Golden Boy were on his side. They kind of favored him for everything when I was fighting him. You know what I mean? Which a promoter should do. And if they didn't like him, then they might have said, "Oh, no problem, we'll make that happen." Because look, Oscar was good to me as well, and he liked me as well. So yeah, they did favor him, but I didn't really think they were that close as people made it out as.
When do you think we'll see you back in the ring? You said Tony's coming over soon. You're going to be doing some training with him. You want that 40th fight, but COVID's still there. It doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon. So what are your
If it means
plans?
I have to fight behind closed doors, then it might have to be, you know. And if it means that I have to wait, and because I can get a date quite easily if it was behind closed doors. I don't know, man. I have to speak to my family, and like I said, I want to wait for my blood results to come. I want to get back into training, see how I feel when I do my strength conditioning with Tony, when I do the boxing with a proper coach, and then I'll start getting a feel of it. You know what I mean? And I know myself then where I am in the sport. 39 fights is a lot of fights, you know, for a fighter. So yeah.
Yeah, but you've won most of them, so that's, it could be worse.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're
No.
not a
Definitely.
39
Exactly.
fight journeyman.
Yeah. Imagine.
Be a lot worse. Where do you see yourself once those, however many fights you've got left, and you've achieved what you want to achieve, and you walk away? What do you see yourself doing aside from the charitable endeavours, which I'm sure will continue? Do you see yourself staying in boxing in some way?
I 100%. I think I will definitely stay in boxing. I've started doing some boxing shows in Pakistan, in the Middle East now with the WBC. So I'm involved in the boxing side. Being a coach, being a manager, I might not do, because I just feel that, you know, I might just promote events and let other managers bring their fighters on board. I just think sometimes, you know, as a manager, when you have too many fighters, you don't really look after your fighters, because you have too many to look after. And as a promoter, I just want to put the shows on and let them fight on it. They have their own managers. I don't know how things are going to go, but look, definitely, look, in my career, man, I have to say that, look, I've had the biggest fights. I've fought the biggest names in boxing, and I've fought all around the world. I've sold at arenas, sold out in locations where people didn't think that boxing was big in, like, for example, Saudi Arabia. I think definitely I should have a position in probably the Boxing Hall of Fame, definitely, because I've done more than what a normal boxer is going to do. You know, I've gone out, done the charity side of it. I've gone out promoting the sport in places where boxing wasn't big, and also opened the door to so many Pakistanis, so many Asian fighters to say, look, if Amir Khan can do it, then you guys can do it. Now, look, if you look at the UK market now of boxing, or even in America as well, there's a lot of Pakistanis that are boxing now. There's a lot of Asians, a lot of Indians. They probably saw what I was doing and thought, wow, we can do the same thing. Because when I was fighting, there wasn't any when I heard in the early days when I started. So I think definitely, you know, I have opened the doors to so many young Pakistanis to get into boxing, because they know that they can make a life out of it. And not only that, like, you know, I remember when some young kids used to train with me as Pakistanis, and the parents used to always fight and argue with them, saying that, oh, boxing's not going to do nothing for you. But then when I started making a name for myself and financially making good money, they thought, yeah, boxing is maybe a sport that we should put our kids in, and they can make some good money from it, and they can live a good life from being a boxer. And, you know, I think I've opened the door for a new region of boxers, really.
And you talked about being in boxing for 25 years. You know how much hard work's gone into it, how much it's taken from you, but also how much it's done for you as well. Would you
Yeah.
encourage your own children to box?
Look, you know, I've taken the punches for them, and I love my kid to go in, Xavier. I love Xavier to go into the ring, start boxing, because look, I think it's naturally going to come to him. And I just want to see genetically how is he gonna be. You know, I like to just see how he's gonna be. And I mean, everything I'm doing, I'm taking the punches for them. I'm everything I've done in the sport is for them, for my kids, for my family. I wouldn't like to be sat on the side ringside watching them taking punches. I've done that for them, you know. I like them to rather go in education. But if they say they want to box, I'm not gonna stop them. And who knows? I mean, they could be better than me. They could, you know, and like I said, it's somewhat hard to. I don't know like how my parents did it um, watching me fight. You know, it takes, especially when I've been hurt, they must go through a lot of pain. And like I said, I've got the balls to see my kid take a punch. You know what I mean? So I mean, look, let's just see how it all works out. At the end of the day, it's going to be up to my children. If they want to go into boxing, that's entirely up to them. I'm going to be there to support them.
I really appreciate your time. It's always good to catch up with you. And hopefully next time we talk, there'll be a fight date in the books and we'll be seeing you back
I
again.
hope so. Yeah, definitely. I hope so. And Daniel, I just want to say one thing that I remember the first couple of interviews that we had was many years ago, and you had dark hair. Now I can see the white coming through your hair, bro. It shows how old you are, bro. I
I was
swear,
probably
I'm
going
not
grey
lying.
even then.
No, you weren't even going grey, but I can't believe how grey you've gone. And when you started, you did have dark hair.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for that.
So, mate, I'm just saying, look, but you look, don't get me wrong, you look good. It
Yeah,
suits
I'm
you.
just going to
Some
leave
people
that
don't
bit in
suit.
and cut the middle bit out.
Nah,
Danny, you look good.
you've always been
That's
good.
it.
That's it,
Brilliant.
man. But
I
love, man.
appreciate it,
Hope your
mate.
family's safe and everyone. And like to all the people out there, the boxers and their families, I wish them all the very best, and I pray for everyone that we come through this tough time.
Great stuff. Well, we all look forward to seeing you back in the ring and really appreciate your time.